This is the grand final from the Radiant Asia Invitational off-season event held in China, but with the two Pacific teams. Basically, chat, this is our preview for the VCT 2025 VCT Pacific 2025 Grand Finals. All right, DFM, up and coming team, smashing everyone out of the park, knocking out, the great titans such as PRX, and then PRX just because they're always in the finals in Pacific. So it's these two teams, and they're both playing standard comps, which is crazy. Anyway, so big important news is Jing playing Killjoy. Literally, chat, all I ever wanted from PRX this year was just to have Jing play something that wasn't super selfish. Not that Raze is, but he also plays Raze pretty selfishly. He plays Raze's abilities pretty selfishly. He does not play selfishly because he goes out there, but like, this is very, very encouraging. This alone fixes so many compositional problems this team has. Literally, like, Jing needed to learn just one more agent, and that suddenly just lets him play Ascent, lets him play Lotus, it lets him play whatever else. I mean, technically, Haven, you know what I mean? Not that they're doing that on Haven still, but it's so good. All right, we got one Sheriff, we got double half armor, and then similar on the other side, one Sheriff, double half armor. DFM's attacking. Full stack on A. Spikes on A. They're already past the one way. Send out a smoke in mid just to mask so you can't do an easy stack. They do take out the recon, so they show movement mid. Sova is solo with the drone on A tree. Why am I watching this on regular speed, by the way? We can't have that. Holy. Dude, DFM have some shooters. We're going to watch on 2x speed, chat. For those of you who have never watched a VOD review, most of the times it's 2x speed, but on the minimap. And then when we see something cool, we'll kind of rewind and watch it in regular speed. Yeah, I read about that. Jing was just like casually sipping drinks waiting. All right, 4-man buy, 3 rifles though. What in the world? Wait, DFM re-challenges this? Oh, because Cess was caught. Dude, that's actually so funny that they just... I can't believe they just straight up... May's like, I ain't having none of that. They just back out and let Cess just get trapped. I mean, Cess won here because he has the rifle, but... Yeah, good drone. This should be pretty straightforward. Good. Good spacing. Alright, they die to the spike. PRX doesn't greet it. PRX 3-man stack in mid on their buy round. All half armors though. I think they bought Sheriffs in that last round. So that's a bit unfortunate. Late lurk, calm style. Jinbungi is a fragger. Dude, Jinbungi is a fragger. He doesn't get all the kills, but like, he's looking for him. He's freaking drawing the heat, man. Like, he's just waiting to trade on Heaven. DFM's looking good. You guys want character skins in Valorant? You can never see your own character, though. It would just make it confusing for everyone else, no? Bringing Art with his Odin. No. No way, dude. He friggin' out mind games something's up? No way, dude. Jing breaks the turret for him as well. No. Dude, you don't see that every day with something. Damn, dude. He was pinpoint too. Did he ping? No, there's no ping. He just goes straight forward, I think. Oh, we wouldn't have seen it because we were watching something screen, but... Oh, no, we still would have on the minimap. Yeah, he just right on the head too. Something doesn't even time to react. He's like, oh, he's probably just spamming, and he thinks something's never had this happen to him before. You can tell, right? Because he's not scared of the first hit. Damn, dude. But this is a lesson learned for a lot of other teams. Is that you can't respect PRX's movement too much. You don't want to get dragged around by it, but you can't just sit there and be like, oh, like something's got the op, like we can't do anything. Like at some point you have to fight him. At some point. And if you win it, it really messes up PRX. You always knew this roster would be crazy. Question mark is still the coaching. Yeah? I think the one I really wasn't familiar with was Art. I wasn't familiar with his game. And like Jinbong, just because when he was playing in Korea, it wasn't like he wasn't like my rising star. Like he was fine. And so him like frying in Japan, I was just like, I mean, yeah, he's pretty decent, you know? I think in my head, I just kind of wrote it off like that. Oh yeah, this is the stress ball. You know, that's not actually a stress ball though. Pretty sure it's not meant to be a stress ball. It doesn't actually come back in form. Like a regular stress ball like this one, when you squeeze it, it just comes back right into form. Like that's the whole point, right? Is that it kind of, there's pressure. But that is actually, it's just mush. It's almost like, it's just like a slime ball, which is I guess what mosh is, but dude, I might have to rate DFM higher though. Their play itself is looking pretty good, win or lose. Obviously a lot of winning here, but dude, nice and early drone from PRX too. Okay, so you've been losing rounds. So after the timeout, you go back to a traditional 2-1-2. No op, but you have Guardians. And they start to do classic meta things, right? You take double with the one way. You have one guy just watching from all the way back in mid. And then you're pushing out to destroy this turret. It's very, very standard. Don't get caught by the 0 point. Immediately, you see no info, so you're wondering if they're somewhere here. Because you saw the killjoy, so you're wondering, like, okay, is there something more? The thing is what I would say is, I don't know if... Okay, you already cleared this for now, right? You pressure that and you have the turret. And then you set up this alarm bot. And you still have someone jump peeking here. Like, if you're going to drone this... I guess you wanted to trade for it, I guess. It's just that... I mean, you have A mains, so they could push out. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah. No, that's too nitpicky. That's so much 2020 hindsight. Yeah, he moves afterwards. He's a little unsure about it, though. I think the move was correct. I think something moving was correct. That's what I was talking about. But it could be like 2024 Gen G with the improvements. Well, hold on. We're gonna head up. We're talking about a Masters Trophy winning team. Let's calm down. It's an eco. He has Blade Storm, so he just pushes out. Dude, look at how much faith this team has in something. It's not like a set play to just push and crush. He was just scouting, and then the moment they see the lockdown, he starts regrouping. He just goes in on his own. Damn, dude. But you got Op, you got Odin, just roaming about. Right, Odin sets up the op early. You got alarm bot. Jing's ready to trade off of it. Ooh, nice. Dude, that was a sick fragment. What? Okay, so close smoke, so he only has to... This is really smart, by the way. Close cloudburst, and he's just floating to see if anybody's at door. Right? And he can't get spammed too easily. Although, technically, Mindfreak could have still tried to spam just through this because it's a choke point anyway, but he's alone on site. So, like, Mindfreak doesn't really have a choice here but to hide. And then they smoke this off. So, it's Maze taking this risk to try to get ahead of the smoke timing because they know that the smoke's dissipating, but they don't have a smoke out yet. But also that way, if anyone's trying to, like, catch them right before the smoke blooms or tries to peek in, he's ready for it. So he jumps out right before the smoke blooms. Then they smoke it. He's still watching this because he trusts Jin Bung-yi to cover this side. And their spread is really good, too. Really good. I gotta... Hold on. Let's double check on PRX here. So they're just expecting the pinch. And otherwise, Mindfreak is just tasked with surviving. And the fragment keeps them at bay, but Devi backs off. Instead of... So they have zero information here, that's why, right? So you have the alarm bot, so you know they haven't pushed up, but you have no idea if anybody's here. So Forsaken still needs to watch this, at which point Devi's like, this is not a safe position, because like these don't synergize perfectly well, because Devi could just get instantly tapped. Like one of you, it's either one of you has to risk your life or both of you have to risk your life. But then Forsaken coming in here, nobody was ready to cover tree. I think, ideally, this is already, what, 40 seconds in? I think the ideal scenario is when this fragment and paranoia first comes out, and you see this many people, I think at that point what PRX needed to do... Oh, they're trying. Oh, Dude. Okay. So this is where PRX... Because PRX has never done this before. They haven't had to wait until the 30-second mark to make a decision. Because they've already made their decision. The round's usually over before this. But what they're doing is they're thinking, oh, we should rotate. But then these guys probably called, no, they stopped. Like, there's no entry. And so something's like, oh, I guess they might rotate. But probably the ideal scenario here was as soon as that paranoia goes out, like, it doesn't matter what else. Jing should have just checked here. He should have peeked. As soon as there's nobody, he should have moved over. And something should have come to mid. And that way you just have a 4-1, and worst case, you have to retake B. Like, you have to accept that you have to retake one site with this timer. But they're trying to just... Yeah, they get torn. Their comms are torn there. That's unfortunate. I mean, you could argue that Devi just... I mean, yeah, he whiffed, but do we really think they would have caught everybody? Like, at that point, you could always say that he would have just gotten traded back too, right? Yeah, but, like, I don't know. Going for ifs of, like... That's like saying one guy holding the entire site with a Guardian is fine. He just doesn't need to whiff. You know what I mean? I know it's not that extreme, but... I just... Personally, this is my take. And this can differ from style to style. But my take is if you're at the 30-second mark, yes, they can go for a Hail Mary. But you can leave one guy here to delay. You know what I mean? But still keeping a, like, 2-2-1 split at 30 seconds, unless you have zero information, I just think is less safe. Because at that point, you know wherever they come, it's going to be a 5-man bum rush. So, I'm not saying it's bad, I just think it could have been a lot better. But the difference to me is that if this was at the 1-minute mark, sure, I'm all for it, right? Because, like, who knows what's going to happen? You reset... whatever. But if it's at the 30-second mark, it's one or the other. It's either a 5-man rush here or most likely a 5-man rush here. With 30 seconds, it's probably not a 5-man rush this way. And if it is, like, then, I mean, tough luck to you. You know what I mean? I think it's, to me, the more I watch teams and you watch the teams that win, and this is across different metas. This was something that I think Loud did really well when they were winning. But it's much more about knowing when the timer is for yourselves on when to just cut your losses, right? And just saying, like, yo, this, you know, like, hey, we choose this. If it's the other, like, tough luck. We go with plan B, or C or whatever. You would have, whichever decision you would have made a safer decision, I think. But the problem is this Jing was waiting here, right? He's only here now. So they actually had zero information like here. Right? Because the turret was here. So like you have zero, I mean, quite frankly, up to here. So you had zero information here. The moment you see the jet plus one more, right? And this time it's the KO. And it's likely that there's other stuff. You see smokes coming out too. And you delayed them. You probably heard a lot of footsteps. You probably heard more than 2 footsteps, right? From Devi. I just think at the very least, like clearing this is a priority. Because otherwise you're right. Your only choices are 1-1, 2-1 again. Which is like, it's not a bad decision. That's not why they lost like the match or whatever, right? But I just think it's like you've pigeonholed yourself into not having the information to make a call. Well, you heard a drone early, so you know the Silva's still somewhere around A, because you canceled that with the 0 point. Then there's no sound, but you see the paranoia too, so you know the omen's here too. So you like absolutely, you could have had all the information. Was he pinged by the drone? Okay, he was pinged by the drone. So like, it requires really good comms, but paranoia means that omen is here. Drone means Silva is here. 0 point, I mean, seeing the projectiles and also eventually getting sight of it, you know the KO is here and you know the jet is here. So like, so you know, like you know that this is a stack. Yeah. So at that point, I think Jing maximum was a 1v1 in mid. So I think literally all it takes, I'm not saying that like something coming here would have saved the round. I think he still would have been late. But I think if he comes here, they feel safer to stack 3 on site instead of like 1.5. You know what I mean? I think the problem here is that Devi's also constantly torn on, do I fill the site or not? Like he's like backing off, going back in, backing off, going back in. And yes, he whiffs, but I think part of it is also like he walks in and he doesn't expect 2 people to already just be sprinting full speed. Again, it's not a bad decision. It's not like, oh, like I can't believe PRX did that, but it's more of a, I feel like it could have been a lot safer. In my head, like there's basically 2 schools of thought, and there's different teams that do this, but there's the way where you can try to be as prepared as possible for everything. And then there's the way where you say, we 100% win this scenario. And then if it's the other scenario, it's a 50-50. But yeah, for me, from just watching more and more teams that win, I think Valorant is a game where the latter works a lot better. As long as, you know, your macro is good. But, like, that's not to say that the other way is bad. I just think Valorant is a game about risk-taking, actually. 4-man buy, all rifles though. Dude, you love to see. Dude, when Mind Freak's fragging, I think he's my favorite controller. Everyone's gonna whenever I say that, everyone's gonna think that I have some agenda against Mako, and I don't. But when Mind Freak's on point, like I think he's my favorite controller. Yeah, Mind Freak's just a chill guy. Oh, DFM already cleared B. That's good. It's a rough position though. Oh no! You just hold cross. You just pretend that there's only one here. Okay, that's not bad, Art. That's not bad. Oh yeah, he wants more. They're just gonna group. I mean, it's an eco. Go for the 4-man stack. It's not bad. That position is just rough, man. The switch, I don't like it. Oh my god, Cess almost wrecked him though. Nice and early drone, pressures mid. But DFM, they don't need to really move because their setup was 4 mid to B anyway. Nice try with the Hunter's Fury. Wait. Oh, whose Hunter's Fury was that? I thought that... Oh, no, they both used it. Oh. Oh, that's a good Hunter's Fury from Forsaken, man. The combo and Mind Freak. Right? Because you send the Omen here, and as soon as he gets spotted, you know that they're getting pushed in, so you just send it. And he's dead. That makes things real awkward for Akame. Except Jinbungi's gonna get 2, so like that's okay. Oh, but Mind Freak's also really good. Dude, I can't believe we left PRX on A tier, man. And that was before, like, we wanted S tier before they were even playing normal comps. And now they're playing normal comps? Jing's playing Sentinel? It's definitely not as fluid as they normally are. I think they're not used to Jing playing Killjoy. I think Jing's not used to 100% playing Killjoy and the positions he wants to take in a team setting, but also, like, overall timings, right? Because the round is a lot slower now for them. Like, you can't play this comp like you would normally. You can't W game with this comp. That's just not how you win with it. Well, apparently on attack you can, but... So... I think they need to get used to that a little bit, but it's looking pretty good. Vice... Oh, Vice is an interesting one for Fracture. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Vice is an interesting one. But Akame gets 2. That's huge. Oh, they have no... Oh, now they do. No way. No way, man. What is it? Oh my gosh. We gotta watch this in normal speed. Alright, he jumps down. Dude, he jumps in between the friggin' cyber cage, by the way. That's like sick. And he comes in. And then he gets hit too. I mean, at some point, surely agent bans if they keep adding on, surely. But although I would be interested to see if they really stick with the philosophy that this is an FPS. Because theoretically, if that is true, you shouldn't ever need agent bans. Right? Theoretically, that should never be... Like, an agent should never be the one that's deciding the meta 100%. And especially if you have that many agents, like, there should be more than one counter anyway, like, back and forth. I guess it's a matter of, like... I mean, it is tough to balance. It's weird. The reason I'm posing that question of the TAC FPS philosophy is because of, you know, my discussions with Path of Exile 2. It's that, like, if you're really... But the thing is Valorant's probably already too far gone, but if you're really convinced that your vision is correct and you can do it, then you should really... Like, you have to all in on that. Which I don't think Valorant... You're right, like, I don't think Valorant has... Already, I think they've already given up on that a little bit. Yeah, the maps probably play a big role as well. Chat, I'm like really tempted to skip this Haven. Is there anything... Did anyone watch this match? Is there anything noteworthy? I mean, I guess DFM's playing pretty well. But that Ascent already... Well, oh, I should watch out what I say. Because DFM convinced me last year with their Ascent. And then it never happened again. So I should watch this. Raise on Haven itself is not like a problem, personally. It's the, you know, overall combo of it. Forsaken, and then last year on Fracture was something. So, like, yeah, usually it is Forsaken, and it's probably the whole Neon thing as well. Yeah, the thing is the Raze needs a bit more. The Raze isn't as self-sufficient on Haven as she is on certain maps like Bind, for instance, or even Lotus. But you can argue that their macro is worse, but you could also argue that a breach would help their macro a lot, right? Like, one of the reasons Breach is so good on this map, chat, is, well, this is a terrible moment to stop. Here we go. One of the reasons Breach is so good on this map is because you can sit here or here and support, like, everything here. You know what I mean? Even technically up to here. And then if you're here, again, you can block this into this. Like, just on a snap, right? And you can do it aggressively, you can do it as a reaction. Like, that's what makes Breach so good on this map. On defense. And that helps your macro a lot, because you can be like, hey, let's push out on cooldown. Okay, great. Or you can be like, hey, I'm going to watch this, and then you're going to slow them down, and then we're going to rotate over. Like, you have just so many more options. I mean, Mei winning duels helps a lot too, but again, it's always a situation of, like, I'm not trying to hate on PRX, but this is classic PRX where your objective is win the fight. You know what I mean? And at that point, when you get to a international playoffs, it starts to hit a wall. Like, yeah, it'll work in Pacific for the most part. Even that, though, I would say people are catching up. But if your win condition is literally only you gotta win your duels, then it's like, then someone like Mei shows up and it's like, oh, well, GG. But like there, Mei technically had more members to trade for him. So like now you gotta win more than one duel. And I'm not saying that's always bad. Like, some rounds you want that, sometimes you need that. Like Meteor, for instance, when he was on Gen G, like that's all he was doing. Is I gotta go get this info by winning the duel. And like there's a time and place for it, but on a map like Haven, within the first 40 seconds, like I don't know if that's what you want your default to be. It's always hard because, like, again, there's a very fine line between a Risk looking like a genius play or a great macro play versus a Risk just looking dumb. You think the Neon era is worse than the Chambers era? All right, chat. What do you think, chat? All right, one if you think the Neon era is worse. 2 if you think the Chamber era is worse. 1 for Neon is worse. 2 is Chamber is worse. What do you think? Chamber was way more OP than this? Yeah, you think Chamber was more OP? Oh, the ones are coming out. YouTube's coming out strong for the Neon nerf. I think Chamber's still slightly ahead, but you guys are mostly. I think there's still a couple more of you for Chamber. Actually, no, you guys might be tied. Chamber was less fun. Yeah, you think so? Some people don't like that. Some people like Neon is more exciting objectively, but some people think because it's so different from what they want from Valorant that they think Neon's less fun. Because Chamber was pretty hyped too, if you think back. Like, it was OP, but like the crazy flicks and the crazy one taps were pretty exciting when they happened. It's just the macro was boring. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which I dislike more. I think I disliked the Chamber meta more just because the macro was so boring, right? Because it was literally, and it was, to me, it really felt like the Chamber meta really felt like if you have a good Chamber, your macro is boring, but you also just win. Whereas if you have a better Neon, yes, you probably win, but at least like the set plays and macro are a bit more varied. I don't know. The one taps were pretty nice. You know, like Ye's highlight on Icebox is always pretty memorable. Dude, something's just like floating and jumping in mid after breaking the door. It's a good fake. Dude, this lurk's gonna catch him off guard, I think. Yeah, they have no idea. Already job done. Now they have to rush. You still got Jing all the way back. Enough time. We see friggin' Art gets smoked off and he's like, oh, whoop, whoa. Gotta go all the way back. And then he's like, whoop, never mind. Guess that's too much time. Literally one smoke and it just disrupts the entire macro of DFM on this round. They don't have a buy round, but To be fair, Abyss's macro is hard because it takes forever. Yeah, same with A though. But the problem, so the reason the A crew is wishy-washy there is because Art is wishy-washy and he's the IGL. So he's like, oh shoot, should we keep info on mid? And then he's like, oh, but if I run all the way around, who knows if they would have taken mid or not? He's like, okay, I guess we hold. And then you're like, so when he decides to rotate, they decides to back off of A. And then he decides not to, and you're like, okay, well now we need information, so we push out. Well, that's not true. Art's really good with the judge too, chat. Listen, it's not like he demands 3,200 credits every round. Sometimes he's good with 1,850. You know, that's like, it's like 40% off. You can't call him out for that. A lot of people think this is the best map rotation. Dude, DFM doesn't understand this map. It's rough. I mean, this map's hard. But like this is one of those, and I think this is why. I think maybe because the map design is bad or not great. But I wonder if it's almost intentional, right? I think because of the map design, you have to go for risks. You know what I mean? You can't try to play perfectly spread out. Like you can't try to play for perfect info. Like this is a map where you just have to fight to get info. And honestly, that might be intentional in the map theory of Riot. Yeah, I wonder if it's just PRX that scared them. Like DFM's defense, like here they have half armor and rifles. Let's see what they do. Round 10, near the end of the half. Dude, even like what's going on here? What happened? Oh my god. Don't tell me this was meant to be a recon. Like, why is he... Like, you got no smokes, you're just standing out? Like, it was clearly meant to be a push out, right? No, but I think a shock is fine just to keep them at bay. I wonder... this might be it. This might be what happened. Well, I think what happened was Art meant it to be a shock, but maybe thought it was supposed to be a recon. Otherwise, waiting to then use another recon to push out is crazy. Or it might just be because the opponents threw a shock and May was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah, because he stops after he sees the opponent's shock, which is like, okay. But at that point, like, I don't know, standing out in the open with only one way to dash and strafe is kind of crazy. But I guess he's confident. Yeah, I don't know if that's Art's fault. I think it might have either been miscomm or it might have just been Forsaken's shock. And at the end of the day, they get the info they want. You know, they give up the site, but they had Hunter's Fury to slow them down. He was outside of the null command range. That's good. This isn't the worst defender of a round. Oof. PRX has the right idea that they need to push out. Oh, I thought he was gonna get a triple there. Jing the Sentinel. Oof. Yeah, where are all the Art haters now? The Art Odin haters now. He just freaking won a 1v1 against Jing with a Guardian at half health, yeah? Where are you at now, Art haters? That's my IGL right there. Dude, what is DFM doing? What's going on? Dude, you got 3 seconds until the round start. What's going on here? Wait, what is going on here? What are we doing here? What are you... That is the craziest amount of free real estate I've ever seen in a professional Valorant match. Dude, Mind Freak's like, yo, what's going on in mid, man? There's literally nobody. So we see pings here. So somebody, I'm assuming Art, wants somebody posted here, right? One of these guys. I'm going to assume KO. Because like you have 7 seconds left, and Akame's just like jumping on the ledge here. No. I mean, listen, a mistake's a mistake, but I think they might have thought they called the timeout. There's no reason for Akame to just waste time at 7 seconds jumping on the ledge for fun. And then he's or maybe Art just lost track of time. He thought he had more time. It looks like they're explaining something grand on B side. There's like pings here, here, and here. But I think they thought they had a timeout, or Art just lost track of time. It has to be one or the other. Yeah. No, that's the... And then they're like, what? That's the only way. That's the only way that makes sense, man. I think they thought they called a timeout. Do you think PRX played well or DFM played bad? Well, DFM definitely didn't play bad in the first 2 maps. This Abyss is looking pretty rough, the defensive side. But defense on Abyss is also really tough. I think PRX played pretty well. I mean, the thing is like, this is what all of us have been saying, though, is that it's not even that PRX needed to, like, reinvent the wheel. They just needed a bit more info, and they could still do what they wanted. You know what I mean? You think it's... I mean, it's always probably a mix of both. I mean, DFM's Abyss, I would say, is definitely... This one is not great. I'm being told that they're better on when they played against EDG, and that could have just been like a PRX factor or, I don't know, a tech thing or whatever, but it could be not being used to a BO5, you know? I'd have to look at the EDG game. Because this game against PRX, it feels like they absolutely don't have a good grasp on... It's one or the other. They don't have a good grasp on Abyss defense, or they do, but they're too scared to go fight PRX. It could be the latter. A lot of teams have that problem with PRX. You have to fight. You have to fight somewhere. Counterpoint. Either that or you need 2 controllers, right? Either you fight here or here. Generally, you don't really fight here except for a couple of curveball rounds. Or you have 2 controllers, and then you just smoke everything off. Dude, Mind Freak battling the world right now. But look at this, you know what I mean? Like, PRX, they're already... They push out. They set up and they push out. I mean, yeah, it's also 12-2, so they can do this. But that way, they can kind of just hold elsewhere. You also have a trap here to make sure that they're slowed down, but you're still taking the risk of watching here. Like, this is a good setup. Now, if DFM had pushed, together on A, then they would have had to back out, right? So that's the counterpoint, and that's why it's still hard on defense, but that's the only way, either you risk it and then you back off and you have someone like covering from mid with a, with support, but so now they're stacked on B. No reason to be anywhere else on the map. How are you liking PRX playing default meta comps? I love it. I love it. I mean, they don't need to stick with it, but I do think that having this practice is going to give them a lot more insight. And the thing is like, it's not that... I don't think it's that they don't know, but it's a very different thing from knowing in your head how other people play and like why they do that versus like really feeling it and getting a feel for the reason, right? It's like I don't know. I would liken it to something like let's say like we all know why you might sandbag in training as athletes, but unless you've done it, you probably don't really get the impact it really has, right? Like that, it's stuff like that where it's like they could not play this all next year and I would be fine with it. Well, it depends on the result, but as long as they're doing this as long as they're pretty committed to this, they should learn a lot more of like, oh, like this is why they do it, which is why I think it's important that people flex around in solo queue. I think it's important to understand what other agents do. It's like same with your teammates, right? Because if you've never played Omen and you're like, I called for a smoke, like why is the smoke so late? Like you don't really know what it takes for Omen to actually do that as as fast as it can be. Personally, I think it's the same for casters. You don't have to be good at the game, but I do think you should like try every agent and try all the agents after they're patched. Like that's why whenever patches come out, I only play, like I spam the agents that have been changed, just so I get a feeling for like, oh, this is why it feels different, or this is how it feels different. I may not be good at it, but, I'm like spamming Phoenix. I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's a bad map for Phoenix. I'll do it because maybe now it feels better. Like, you don't know. It's very similar to, my head is full of Path of Exile 2 because I was working 2 days next to the game director translating for him. So that's like the most recent analogy I have. But he talks about in game testing why they have such a hard time is because you change one thing in the end game, and then he feels that you need to have people play all the way from the beginning again to see how it impacts your end game, right? Like how it impacts your overall experience. And to me, it's kind of the same thing. Is like you really need to, like, even if you know it's bad, you need to get a feel for why it's bad. But yeah, I was like, what, dude? What was that? That had to have been a reset, right? Okay, but this is what I'm talking about, by the way. We were talking about fast macro before. So this is what I'm talking about. All right, round starts. All right, right off the rip. DFM, they're letting A main go. They're fighting for art control. They get it with a set play. They're waiting here to see if it's a rush. And immediately, Forsaken decides, okay, I'm just going to go re-clear this. Dude, that was clean. Now, May's still there, but like this gives you the information. First of all, you take out 2 big agents. Gives you information that they were stacked up on mid, so now you're just focused on this and this, right? Because you have A main, you've already given up on B. It is rough because it's 3v3, so now you're all in 1v1, so PRX kind of has to make a choice. I like this, kind of doubling up. Since main, you can kind of hide around. But that's what I'm talking about, is that when you lose someone, like nowadays, the way to do it is to immediately re-clear. Just like chain fights back to back to back to back. And I think that's the way to do it from here on out. This one's rough because, yeah, like you had to give up on one side of mid if you didn't want 1v1s, so. Dude, PRX just ditches B site. Dude, nice and early drone. Pushes him back. Turret still hasn't spotted anything, which is why Devi goes over here. But then you push A and you hear nothing in retaliation. So then Devi goes back. This is some good movement from PRX. And now you know with the turret. All right, 0 point as well. Silva got caught. Killjoy's still out, so you can still use your util. Something meanwhile gets the flank in mid. Time's out. That was a good round. One Guardian. Go for a full fake. It's got to be fast, though. Something ain't moving. So, like, why is something not moving here? Let's think about that. Because they don't actually have any information. This is an interesting case where you know that they're on an eco. So there's a good chance that it's gonna be a stack. Jing only finds, not Jing, Forsaken only finds the 2. And so there's no real reason to move. You still have your util, you can still block them off. Dude, and they're not gonna rush in? That's crazy. PRX playing discipline, waiting for a 5-man retake? This is what everyone was talking about. It's so easy to get impressed by PRX. The PRX comp allows you to take this mid zone a lot. They did this a lot in the past. They just went 360. That's so funny. Dude, that's actually insane. Wait, let's watch it in regular speed. So they do this a lot because the curveballs are really good for taking any of the mid space, but they get pushed out of A main. They're primed for any push out here, right? See if there's a reaction, like if it's a pinch. Doesn't seem to be. They hear the drone from Art, so they creep in. I think there was an alarm bot, right? They took that out. So now they have all of the hall. They just drone Art, so they know that that's clear. So the only place you see the pings, the only place you're worried about is here. So you curveball it. All right, that's clear. And check in sewer. Check the close corner. All right, great. We got Art control. You come in on a pinch as well on A. Then you leave someone here. So now middle of the map is yours. You still have this turret, by the way, that's active. So you know they haven't fully pushed out. Then you set up the alarm bot, and now you're going back the other way. At 40 seconds. And then this way you have so much lurk control. Yeah, Forsaken's gonna come back though. Forsaken, they're not sure where the guys from A main are. That's why Forsaken's worried, but they're already grouped up. We know that, but Forsaken being cautious is fine. They're both playing back of hall. I don't know how Jing gets that kill, but they're both playing back of hall just to buy time. That's all they need. Uses the run it back too. Easy peasy. Oh, man. The timing. Still not bad for DFM. Except there is Andre's Fury. Fake out, but the Blaze Wall comes up. That's unfortunate. Oh, but the wraparound. The wraparound. Oh, my gosh. Dude, Forsaken peeks it at the most perfect time. How? Oh, I think Forsaken peeks out because he's trying to pinch on him for Divide, but then he finds Art. That's crazy. Keep up. May's got ult. They love Art, man. Art's got to give up on Art. Yeah, this timeout is pretty late. They had many chances to call a timeout. And now they go for A main. I was just thinking that. I was like, when I said they got to give up on Art, I was thinking in my head, it's just much better to get this. You know what I mean? I don't know about leaving this entirely empty. Maybe keeping someone here to work off the alarm bot would have been okay. But you want to do a full push out, that's fine. You have the alarm bot to still know if it's a pinch or not, so you're kind of safe from that. And then if they go from mid to A, you still have all of A main, so it's not the end of the world. Right? Oh, what? No. It was so decent. Dude, the Cosmic Divide helps them too? Oh, man. That is tragic, man. Dude, he jump peeks. He hears the drone. He backs off. Mind Freak's already there. Mind Freak dies. Jing picks up the spike, and they come out one by one. Not even one by one. Oh, they just think he's further in, dude. But he gets all three. That is rough, yeah. Reset's good. I mean, PRX looks pretty good. They still have W Gaming, so I don't think you need to be concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't play meta comps come the regular season. But I like that they're experimenting with it. It's a good learning opportunity. It also just goes, you know, it also makes you think that they could always just bring that out, right? The Ascent is the real one to watch in this match for both teams, I think. The Pearl was okay for both teams, but PRX's Pearl comp has crushed many a teams in the past.